is Abdul Rahman. I'm a lecturer at a public university in Kenya. I deliver lectures in computing and informatics. In our last lesson, we discussed about the nested if. We have seen that a nested if, basically, it is actually nothing but it is actually an if statement within another if statement. Today, we are going to look up into another topic altogether, whereby we are going actually to discuss what we call an if-else statement, an if-else-if statement. And in that particular journey, we are going to look at the definition, we are going to look at the syntax, and basically we are going to implement the same concept onto what we call up an Eclipse EIDE. So let us start up and see actually what actually it is, an if-else-if statement. So an if-else-if statement actually check what you call multiple condition by actually evaluating a Boolean expression. So this one actually checks multiple condition, and it checks first of all the first condition. So it checks up the first condition, and if it is true, then it returns the first statement. So it checks up the first condition, and if it is true, actually returns execute the first statement. And if it is false, what happens? If it is false, it checks up the second condition and execute the second statement. And if the second statement actually it is true, it executes the second statement and moves on and on and on until, if there are no more conditions to be actually evaluated, then it goes on the else statement and execute the else statement. So that is what you call an if-else-if statement. So that one takes us to its syntax. So basically its syntax is a very straightforward. So if we have a condition or an expression which is a Boolean expression, then if it is true, we'll have an statement. If it is false, we are going to check up onto another else if condition. And if this condition it is true, basically we are going to have a statement. And it will go on and on to check on some condition until when we reach up there are no more condition, we'll have what you call an else statement, and in that particular else statement, an else clause, we have to have our else statement, and actually we finish up. So this is actually what we are talking about on the syntax. So let's conceptualize the same idea and see what happened. So basically, if you have here our start, this particular start basically will check up for a condition, say condition 1, and if it is true, this particular condition 1, then we'll have our statement here. And if it is false, what will happen here? We'll move on to condition 2, and if it is true, this condition 2, we'll have up a statement here. And if, and then we'll move on until whereby we reach condition n. And if this condition n, it is true, we are going to have another statement here. Else we are going to have the else statement here. If, and from the else statement, actually we are going to finish up our program. So our program will end up here. So basically, this is how the DFD of the SEM will come about. Therefore, now this one takes us into the implementation, and let's move on to our Eclipse if you can implement the same and see actually what happens. So here we are. Basically, here we are going to have a value of, let's say, int I equals to, let's say, 20. On that particular value, basically what we are going to put up is an if statement. If we are saying our I equals to 10, what will happen? We want to see, we can put up, we can put up a system dot out dot print ln dot print ln. What do we want to print? Basically, we're just printing up a message. You're saying I actually equals to 10, and then we terminate. Now after that, we are putting up actually another else if, another condition. Else if, what about if I equals to 20, equals to 15 this time? What will happen? If I equals to 15, basically what are we supposed to do? We are supposed to print, so we will have system dot out dot println, and what are we printing? Basically here we are printing that I equals to 15. And we'll what we are saying, it is we cannot put on conditions and conditions. So let's come up to the end of this particular. So you can have so many of them, but we'll put up an else to finish up. So here you have got an else, and that particular else, we are just saying system dot out dot print ln, and what are we saying onto that? I is not a number, maybe just like something like that. I is not a number. So basically here we have seen up this particular syntax of if else statement. So let us run. So here put up our if statement, and then else if, and then else. So you should be very careful and look at the curly brackets, how we are doing it. So basically, if you run this particular program, actually it tells us I is not a number, because none of this were actually put up into consideration. But if we change here and we put 10, let's see what happens, and we run this particular program, you could see actually else if I is equal to 10, also it gives us the same thing. Let's put up 20, which will be actually equal to that, and onto that particular note we'll see actually changes. So if you run that, actually tells us I is equal to 10. So thank you for listening. However, don't forget to subscribe onto our next session, whereby we are going to talk about the switch statement. Thank you and bye for now.